All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Planet Xbox Podcast. And I told you guys today would be special because I have one of my favorite voices on the internet here on the show today. And he goes by Miles Dompier.
Oh, and I'm getting fancy with it. Okay.
I practiced that.
I like that.
We'll get on proper. We'll get proper intros out the way. I'm your host, Best Spot Kid Smooth. Welcome to another episode of Play Xbox Podcast. Miles, please, your introduction, but you have to do that. What they call it, ASMR.
Oh, the gamer ASMR flair, huh? Is that what we're? That's how we're kicking the show off, huh? What is going on, dudes? Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to talk some Xbox. We got a lot of big things happening, a lot of big stuff on the horizon, and I'm looking forward to getting into it with all you guys.
Yes, I'm always excited to talk Xbox with those that do it best, but I got the crew here with me. We're going to start out with Coke Boy Jay. How are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. It's a shame that I got my LG monitor, supports HDMI 2.1, and it was defective, so I had to return that, get a new one, so hopefully that's good. Gaming's been good. I've been playing some Gears 4 campaign, running through that, and then we're going to hop into some Gears 5 after that, so just having a lot of fun with that. If anybody wants to play some Gears multiplayer, just hit your boy up.
Nice. And we got Old Man Logan.
What's up, guys? Playing an Xbox. Oh, am I muted?
No, you're good.
Am I good?
You're good, yeah.
Not muted, right? Okay. I was like, it's going green. I should be good. What's up, Planet Xbox? Happy to be here. Excited for E3 episode number 62. I got a new mic, or not a new mic, but a new camera. So you should be seeing me at 60 frames a second, as long as that's what's being streamed out. So I'm excited about that. New keyboard. Been playing tons of games. Got into Necromunda last night, and that did not turn out to be very well. Yeah. I'm pretty sure we'll talk about that. But yeah, I've been playing Apex, Tekken, all kinds of different stuff. And yeah, I'm ready to talk about E3 and Xbox and stuff. So let's go.
Cool boy. And we have our resident PlayStation guy, Chris Righteous. We got a crazy story for this week.
Yeah, man, what's going on, everybody? Shout out to our special guest, Miles. Glad you can make it. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure you hit the like button, share. Yeah, as you guys know, I am the resident PlayStation enthusiast, always giving my opposing views on the things that are going on Xbox. But some of you Xbox fans may not like that. But I am necessary to bring the balance, because you don't want an echo chamber podcast all the time. You need some disagreements every now and again. But yeah, man, E3's right around the corner. There's a lot of great things for everybody to get excited for. And yeah, let's get into it.
And we have our passionate gamer who changes his name once a quarter.
Yeah, no. How's everybody doing? It's Def Grips. Shout out to Miles for coming through. Very happy he's here. I'm ready to get into these topics, ready to talk about Xbox and my expectations for E3 for sure. Let's go.
And just an honorary mention and shout out to NickBanks, also part of the show. Can't make it today. We also honorary mention to Gaming Addict or Iron Lord's Lord Addict. Shout out to the Iron Lords podcast. But yeah, let's get into it. Couple of things going on. Let's start with Miles. What have you been playing this week other than, putting together these videos? Before I ask you what you're playing, right? I do want to say this. Last year, and I think I commented. Actually, I think last year is when I was like, who is this guy? You made a video about the upcoming, the Xbox Game Showcase. And you had the most convincing list put together, and the video was just like, I can't wait to see the next Dead Rising by Undead Labs, or I can't wait for this Perfect Dark announcement. I was so convinced that everything you were saying, was going to happen. So ever since then, I kind of just like, all right, he's on notifications. Whenever he drops a video, I'm there, and it's going to sound great. The quality's great, the music, and the convincingness of it. You do good work. But before we get into that, what have you been playing this week?
I've been going down a Resident Evil rabbit hole. I got sucked into Village hard. I beat Resident Evil Village 7 times, and I was like, all right, what is next? Still had that itch, still wanted some more, so I went back and played Resident Evil 6, Resident Evil 5, and then I just wrapped up Resident Evil 4, and then I'm making my way to Resident Evil 3. So I'm all in right now. I've just been playing nothing but Resident Evil pretty much nonstop. So yeah, the Village really just got me in that mood. So that's been
Which one is your favorite one? Resident Evil so far?
My favorite Resident Evil of all time?
Yeah.
Or what if
Sure. It could be a couple. I mean, you don't have to pick just one.
Ooh,
I start off like for me, it was 4 for the longest because the only one that I beat was 3 prior to that. But then after I played 1 remake and 2 remake, they're both at my top 2 right now, 1 and 2, as far as the remakes.
Yeah, Resident Evil 2 remake's probably my number 1. Like I love Resident Evil 4. I went back when I was replaying it. I forgot how corny that game is. Like it's so campy and so good, but those one-liners just the best cringe of all time.
Everything with Lewis was cringy.
So you're going backwards. You went from you're like rewinding. Village.
Yeah.
Biohazard.
No, RE7.
I did 7 before I played Village, so a little weird. So 7, then Village, and then I've been going down, trying to work my way to Resident Evil 0, which, in my opinion, no offense to the 0 stands, I know there's some out there, but Resident Evil 0's pretty bad. It's
trash.
It's the one I haven't beat. It's the only Resident Evil of all the terrible Resident Evils I haven't beat. I've even beat Resident Evil Survivor, which most people haven't even heard of. It's a rail shooter on PS1.
Yeah.
I beat
I
Resident Evil 0 last year, and I beat it, but it was terrible. I did not enjoy the co-op experience, everything, the mechanics about the game, the story, the characters. It was not a good Resident Evil.
I guess I'm the odd man out. I did like Resident Evil 0.
Yeah, people I like talk about how Resident Evil 0 is bad, and there's people on my Twitter feed like, "Whoa, bro, back it up. What's going on here?"
I have a couple of Resident Evils completed. I'm not a Resident Evil fan. I did 7. I have 8. I just haven't like jumped into it. I have 2, and I think I got that via Game Share, but I like how it looks. I don't like playing it. 4 was I did 4 on GameCube. I'm not sure if I beat it, but I did get really, really far. I think I'm like stuck on I think I last left the game on a boat, shooting something on a boat. I was on a boat you play as Leon in 4, right?
That's pretty early on.
Yeah, that's pretty early.
Yeah, they're like the monster you fight in the water or something like that.
Yeah. Lagos. I think his name was Lagos. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's the only one that I kind of like remember playing like back in the day. The other ones I did not like. The original Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 1 weren't my style, so I can't even like really enjoy the fruits of whatever Resident Evil has, because the only one I've really like I only completed, is it 5 because it was co-op? Was it 5 or 6? One of them. Whatever
both were co-op.
Shiva!
5 and 6.
That's 5.
5. All right. So
the whole entire time, just mash that B button.
Yeah.
Just
So
wait for your
5 and
AI
7 were
cooperator.
like the most recent ones that I've done.
Yeah, I would say shit in terms of remakes. I feel like remake 2 is like way better than 3, but my favorites for the franchise is 7 and 8. For me, I really enjoyed those experiences, especially 7's. Just like how close it was, it felt a lot more tense than 8 did. Like it had its moments where I was like, it took me a while to beat 7, to be honest. Like it took me a long time to beat 7 compared to 8. Like 8, I kind of just ran through it, except the baby part. Like I was freaked out. Like I want to go back and play through 8 again, but the baby part just has me kind of stuck. So. But I'll go back eventually.
That stuff was terrifying.
Yo, that was so weird. Like I was screaming and shit, dude. Like
I walked down the hallway, I was like, "Oh hell no!"
No, dude. When I saw the cord, I was like, "Please don't let it be a fucking baby, dude." I was like, "Don't do this," and then it did it. I was like, "God damn it!" And then I just freaked out.
We also, we had a couple game releases last week. We had we had Ariel Knight on who released Never Yield a couple weeks ago. So he was on. We talked about his game. I know, oh man, you just got the 100% completion on that. I'd given up.
No.
you
gave up on it?
I'm happy with my 80%.
Feel like I just remember like we were on on the party and like literally trying over an hour, an hour, like an hour or so to get that. And
my hand-eye coordination.
Dude, I'm done. Like it's like if I know I'm stuck at something and I give up for the night and then come back to it, I usually beat it first or second try, and that's what happened the next morning. I was like, all right, woke up, got it, and I got to that extra level and beat it.
Like I could beat the game. Like I thought I would like before I knew what the achievement was. I just thought maybe I beat the game a couple times on different difficulties and now I'll unlock it. And then that was the case. My hand-eye coordination just sucks. I can't. It's like
that bonus level is trippy. Like
it sucks because that
throws you all over the place.
That bonus level is worth 2 achievements. That's what's driving me nuts. It's worth 2 achievements. That's what 300. Pretty much, you get 200 and it's 2 and 1.
100. Yeah, it's basically the one achievement to get all the achievements, and you got to do that extra bonus level to get the last costume in the game. Yeah. So it's a hefty level worth points there. And
the game we've been keeping our eye on over the past couple weeks, and it released at 8:00. On May 31st, on Memorial Day. Hired Gun. Necromunda.
Necromunda, Hired Gun, part of the Warhammer 40k universe. Mm-hmm. It was something that I was definitely looking forward to, but right now on consoles, I would not recommend. That both Xbox and PlayStation 5 have numerous performance issues and stuff like that. And at least the developers, they put out a statement today saying that they know the issues, they're going to work on them. And stuff, but it looks like the PC version of the game is running relatively flawlessly.
Well, because the game was initially made for PC, and it was like, hey, we can put these on next gen consoles to make some extra money.
Well, it came out, it all came out at the same time, so I think they just kind of did a very lazy port to console. While they focus on PC,
it has all like I feel like it still even have like all like the PC like settings.
Yeah, the PC settings and menu. Yeah, it has an FPS counter, which I know for sure. That thing don't count worth shit. In the Xbox version of the game, because that thing was saying I was running frames.
Really, the game tells me I'm only running. I was never running at a steady frame rate. I was between 50 and 60
it never said
the entire game.
It never said 60. It just was so messed up that all I could see was 5, 9, and it looked like the 9 kept on bouncing back and forth. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I guess it's saying it's 60, but like the gameplay and stuff, like the gameplay loop and the combat and stuff like that, I feel like would be really great. Other than I had to change my dead zone settings on my controller. It was defaulted at 20. I changed it to 10, so aiming was actually bearable. That was one of the things. If you leave your dead zone set at 20, it's almost impossible to be able to aim. Mm-hmm. But then I saw like there was some people bugged. Like I was talking to one guy on Twitter today. He can't actually adjust the counter down. Like it won't let him go below 20. So there's bugs with the menus to be able to change stuff. I had an issue where I changed my dead zone, and then my left analog stick would not rotate left or right. It just wouldn't register. So there's definitely bugs in the game. I would just say wait for the developers to put out updates if you're interested, because the game and the combat and the environment and stuff I actually really enjoy. Mm-hmm. It's not optimized well for any of the consoles. So just stay away till they put out patches, so at least they're aware of it, and they put out statements that they're working on patches within trying to put that stuff out. So yeah, very very disappointed, because I know I was one.
How much is the game?
$33.
It's for $39.99 now. The pre-order release was like $33.99.
It's not bad. It's not. Yeah, it's not.
I mean, it's not a full. It's not like a full-fledged $60, but still, like from all the stuff that they showed, I honestly kind of feel like the game runs worse than Cyberpunk, to be completely honest.
Well, in terms of performance, now,
I was like, compared to like my stuff with Cyberpunk when I played it when it first came out to this, I played Necromunda last night for about 2 hours. And I had to put it down. My eyes hurt. I could not stand looking at the game anymore. So it's not being played till they put out a patch to fix that performance issue.
I feel like the game, it has like Doom-esque
Yeah, and that's what
gameplay,
pulled me in was that Doom mask. That's what pulled me into it. I was like, dude, this looks like Doom, just kind of more of a post-apocalyptic bounty hunter type world. Like I was sold on the premise of the game, and I don't think the premise of the game is bad. I just think the performance on these consoles is just atrocious.
So my question is that because I know you're speaking strongly about this game and the shape that it launched in, which is fine and fair. Obviously we purchased these games, like we bought it day one, we had it pre-ordered and stuff like that. But when you look at this, right? Because I know you mentioned like Cyberpunk and stuff like that. We had another game released sort of similarly for $60. And that was Biomutant the week before.
Biomutant.
Oh, okay, Biomutant.
So, what situation would you rather? Who are you more willing to forgive, Biomutant or Necromunda?
Well, I haven't played Biomutant at all yet, just because I just have way too much on my plate. So I can't speak for anything for that. I don't know if anybody else has played Biomutant and Necromunda.
I played a little of it. I put it down.
All right, so between you, Smooth, like what is it? Then like what's the Biomutant to Necromunda type situation going on?
The issue with Biomutant is I feel like Biomutant should have been the same price as Necromunda, and then I think it would have been more forgiving for its shortcomings. I was hyping like Biomutant. I was like, all right, this is it. This is like, you get this little rat cat, whatever it is. You customize them. Customizable is going to be like this full-fledged. But it has a lot of shortcomings. And then you say, all right, well, it was only 20 people that made this game. But then you're like, yeah, but they did charge $59.99 for the game, which is like,
yeah,
you kind of like, all right, so you're
if you release that AAA price, you're gonna get that criticism.
So I guess my only question is, I mean, I haven't played Biomutant, but from what I've read, more so with Biomutant, it's not really the game's like performance issues and stuff like that. It's more of like the actual content in the game and the narration and the gameplay loop versus Necromunda. Like, I feel like the gameplay loop and the gameplay would be there, but the performance of the game is so bad that I don't want to play it. So I kind of think you're looking at two different scenarios here. One is, a very, like it's, from what I've seen of Biomutant, it looks like a polished game. Like the gameplay is good, the world environments are beautiful, it has runs well, good frame rate, great resolution. Where Necromunda is kind of like the opposite. It has great gameplay but runs terribly. So
I hear Biomutant had a lot of bugs.
Yeah, it has,
but I'm not sure.
I don't know if it's bugs or just like they needed more time in the oven to get the gameplay right. Because
some of the stuff is like unrefined things, like walking through bamboo sticks and things. Like they can easily fix that. It's not like the game is broken.
Fighting people,
it performs pretty well. So
most of the stuff that I saw from Biomutant complaints was just like, apparently the narration is really long and annoying just constantly. So they're like, I liked how they like are going to address that. So does that mean that they're going to take narration out of the game?
I don't want them to do that.
Like, I just thought that was weird. They're like, yeah, we're gonna address the narration issues and stuff like that. And I haven't played it to experience, I guess, exactly what that is. But that's just what I saw from people that played it. It's like, dude, this narration's like ridiculous.
Shit is kind of like
they're just gonna cut stuff out of there. Like, all right, this sentence out, this is out, this is out.
So it's kind of like a narration the way like that kind of like Animal Planet or the Animal Channel kind of has, and I think that's kind of cool.
Okay,
like since you don't understand, like you're not gonna understand these creatures, so you have somebody translating their interactions. So it's kind of just like a person, just kind of like describing what's being said, how they're reacting, what's happening. Like, I think it's pretty cool. The actor who they got is a famous British dude to do it as well. He's a movie actor. Shit, I think it was really cool that he was in there. I haven't played it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Necromunda, I guess I'll just have to wait on that. From what you said, so I guess I'll just wait for some type of sale or something.
I'm not saying it's a bad game by any means. Like, I was enjoying what I could play of it, but I could only play so much before my eyes hurt. And that is just all strictly performance issues.
Miles, have you played in either of the two, Necromunda or Biomutant, over the past couple weeks?
I have not. No, a bunch of my coworkers have been playing Biomutant especially. And so I was talking to them ahead of release, and Yeah, their reviews of the game were pretty brutal. We reviewed for two different sites. One of them gave it like a 6 out of 10. The other gave it a 4 out of 10. So I kind of steered clear of that one because I heard that it had some just fundamental flaws with the gameplay. It's less, yeah, like you guys were saying earlier, it's not so much about the bugs, but I heard a lot of complaints about the actual gameplay. Jez was playing it, and he said he could put it on the hardest difficulty, move his creature into a group of enemies, and just set his controller down for 10 minutes and not die. Like that's how he was saying the AI was that bad. Like he could just leave and not die. So I don't know. I haven't played it, but those are the reasons I haven't played it.
We got a super chat
from Neo. Super chat from Neo GameSpark. Which
shout out to Neo GameSpark.
Shout out to him, even though I asked him 102 times, "Hey, would you like to come on Planet Xbox one day? Make some time for me." But we'll get to that later. He says, "Shout out to Planet Xbox. Quick question: do y'all believe in generations?" That's a question.
Let me tackle it. Let me tackle this first. Because
why is that a question for me? Y'all don't believe in generations?
No. Look, this is very interesting. First of all, shout out to Neo GameSpark. Thank you for the super chat. Right, we love your content. Now, wasn't it last year or the year before when Phil Spencer talked about generations? Right, remember he talked about that, right?
Yep,
and he said, "Hey, we're going to continue to support Xbox One for a certain period of time." Everybody got on Phil Spencer. What are you talking about, right? Now Sony's doing the same thing, even though they never explicitly stated that they were going to continue to pick games on PS4. We knew that they were going to do it, but it wasn't. Yeah, they never said God of War or any of these other games are going to be on PS5 initially. It was assumed, but we never knew, right? So now the shoe's on the other foot. What's happening?
So the article, which I think is from Game Biz Industry, I got it.
Game Industry Biz.
Yeah. That was the article where the phrase "we believe in generations" comes from. In that same article, they said that they were going to support PS4 for years to come. In the exact same article.
Yeah, but people were very, adamant when I don't even think it was Phil Spencer that said it. It was Matt Booty who said they plan to support Xbox One with first party, content for at least 1 to 2 years.
For like 1 to 2 years, right?
And they gave you the actual window.
Right, but listen, the conversation led to, well, now these games are going to be held back because of the limitations of the Xbox One hardware and stuff like that. Some people were denying it, some people were for it and stuff like that. So, then Sony, after that, they came and said, well, we believe in generations, meaning that they're going to have PS5 only games, PS5 only exclusive and whatnot. And so far, they still do. Like, they still have PS5 only games, PS5 only exclusive. The only thing I'm disappointed at mainly is I expected them to still have PS4 cross-gen games released, but it's which ones are still cross-gen. Even though, like I've always said, even since last year on Planet Xbox, that just because a game is cross-gen doesn't mean it's going to be bad. It could still be an amazing game. It could still be a Game of the Year contender, as I expect Horizon, God of War, possibly Halo Infinite, if it comes out, really good, as I expect those games to do. But it's like, to me, it's like, yo, Miles is selling more on PS5 than PS4. Like, cut the PS4, move on. This is why I love Square Enix, what they're doing with the DLC for Final Fantasy VII. It's like, yeah, we designed this only for the PS5 because we want to move on for the PS4. And that's a third party. So it's like, come on, Sony's like, there's some games that it's like, okay, yeah, this makes sense. Miles makes sense, right? Gran Turismo makes sense to be cross-gen. But come on, let us get God of War built from the ground up for the PS5. But it's still going to be an amazing game. But yeah, I still believe in generations, and I still think that PlayStation is the main one delivering next. We're getting one next week, so
How is it selling more on the PS5 if there's more PS4s out?
Exactly. That's what's crazy. That's what's crazy.
The attachment to Miles Morales.
Miles Morales is selling more on the PS5 than the PS4.
The adoption rate I could understand. Like if it was saying like the hell is it? It's like how fast people got PS5s who could get them. But compared to like how many PS4s are out in the wild and everything, and how many people have them, and how many people are still buying games for them, it's just kind of like, I don't know, like it doesn't add up for me.
You want to know why? It's because the best version of the game is on PS5, and people will rather wait to play the game on the PS5 than to buy it on PS4 and not have that that awesome experience, because that game is intended for next gen. It looks amazing and it's promoted for next gen. I've never seen a Spider-Man Miles Morales ad where it says PS4.
Play on
Right, it's all
PS4.
promoted for this.
No, yeah,
shit
of
hard.
course,
promoted for
of course.
Like
PS5.
I waited till I got my PS5 to play. I could have
Exactly.
played Miles Morales, but I was like, nah, I'm gonna wait till I get the PS5. But you know what I think it is? I think these games were supposed to come out this year, right? Like Gran Turismo and God of War, obviously they got delayed. And so, and because of, I think COVID, right, plays a huge factor in all these delays or whatever. So I think that's why, like, okay, in the first year, we're going to still have these cross-gen. And then, but now since they're getting delayed, it's going to be extended to where it seems like, it's like year 2022, we're still getting cross-gen or whatever. But this is Planet Xbox. So
Yeah.
let's get
I
to
guess
the topic.
my only quick thing is like, I know when we're talking about the PlayStation and people are worried about the cross-gen games, you got to look at the studio. Santa Monica Studio, what they did with God of War on the PS4 alone, like I don't know why people would be even worried about that being a cross-gen game. I mean, that on PS4
Well, nah, it's not.
is absolutely a beautiful game. Well,
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
just saying, people are complaining, that they're thinking that being a cross-gen game is going to be held back. It's like, look at that studio, that they know even if it's going to be cross-gen, one, that game's going to be great on PlayStation 4 just from looking at God of War 2018, and then two, that game's going to look absolutely bonkers on PlayStation 5. No matter what, like you gotta look at.
No, it's good. Well, I mean, look at Horizon. Horizon, they showed it running on PS, and it looks amazing. But it's the more part of like some of the like design limitations and stuff like that. Like Guerrilla Games said they couldn't get the flying to work on the PS4 because the CPU was weak. So we expect, okay, so for Horizon 2 on the PS5, we should be able to fly. You know what I mean? That's what people mean by like holding back, not necessarily was like graphics or anything like that.
The fidelity is always going to be there.
No, that's the only limitation that I guess that I've heard, like, was the flying thing. But I mean, like, when usually people say this, like, I think it's just because, like, it's almost like an elitist thing. It's just like they got it, so they just want everything to focus on what they have. Like for me, from my outlook, is just like Xbox is supporting this stuff for a limited amount of time, like a set amount of time, like that's fine. Like, but once the games are finally being crafted for the system that I'll have, then my experience will be obviously much better. But I wouldn't want them just to kind of like cut people off, even though I do have the console that I want. Still, so it's like when people say that, like, okay, like these game design things are being held back, like I want to know specifics of, like, I mean, are you in there? Do you know? Have they said? All right, what did they state? Like, let me know, like,
well, it's just
what
like
their ideal was.
No, but here's the thing,
I understand.
we don't know. But hold on, we don't know exact. Like you said, like it doesn't matter. Like Miles said, or whoever said, it's gonna be like the game. It's Santa Monica, right? So the game's gonna be amazing no matter what.
Yeah, of course.
Like, even if it's on the PS4 or whatever. But developers and stuff. It's just like the evolution of gaming that. And it doesn't. In each generation, it doesn't happen right away. It usually takes like 2, sometimes 3 years for everything to start kicking off and stuff like that. But sometimes it's like, I want to see what the next evolution in gaming is that couldn't be done on previous hardware. So, like for a great example would be Ratchet and Clank, like going in and out of the worlds instantly and stuff like that. Like that couldn't be done on the PS4. That's what I'm talking about. It's like the evolution of bringing games forward. There's nothing wrong with supporting cross-gen or even backwards compatible games at all. You need those fillers and stuff like that. But
no, it's not.
At the same time, it's like sometimes you want to see gaming take a step forward when it's a new generation, to see what the developers can push more that they couldn't do with previous generation hardware.
Yeah, we're still in the first year of PS5 and Xbox Series X being out.
I give it like
that's
1 or 2
that's one
years.
thing. Yeah, it's like I said before, like it's gonna take a bit for us to really see truly next gen experiences. In the meantime, we're gonna have to settle for games that are more performant on these systems, which are still wonderful experiences. So at least we have that. That's the best we can get.
All right.
And my last thing on the subject is, be prepared to look up into the sky, watching all them PS4s be taken off when they're playing God of War on that.
Oh yeah, I don't know how it's gonna handle
those
that.
things are going to be going to the moon with God of War Ragnarok.
Mine's died because it kept working hard.
You're just gonna see a whole bunch of PlayStation 4s just flying in the air.
All right, so let's get into like the main sort of topic. We're in E3 season. Announcements are happening. Predictions and expectations are happening. I'm not sure if any credible leaks has occurred yet. But finally we got Miles in at like perfect timing. Just released a highly intriguing video of what to expect at Xbox Bethesda E3 this year. My question for you, even though we could, all just sort of just play the video, I mean, I got particular questions for you. I have my own expectations and predictions. When you work on a video like that, you're obviously privy to some information that, the rest of the general public isn't. So you kind of have like some ideas. Does having information make it harder to do a video like that, or easier, or is it just allow you to have fun? What is your goal when you're doing a video like that, if you have some information that actually might just be there?
Yeah, so you talked about the video I did last year, and that was more fun. That was more like, hypothetical, what if E3 of dreams type video. The one we did this year is a bit more grounded. It's a bit more realistic, and it is kind of, some of its predictions. Obviously, there's no master list that's leaked of like this is everything that's at E3. So some people think that exists, and people like myself have this master list of everything that's going to be at Xbox's E3. I don't have it. I can pretty much guarantee no one outside of Xbox has that. But yeah, there are a lot of things we can look to and point to, and there are things that we have some information on that we can kind of expect. So that's kind of what this video was this year, is like, obviously I don't have the list, but there's a good chance that everything I talked about in that video will be at E3. I'm hoping for some big surprises. That's always the most exciting thing. When I was outside of the industry, just an onlooker, it was just anything was possible. Sky's the limit. Anything could happen. Hype moments. And now that I'm kind of like in the nitty gritty, like trying to figure out what could be shown, what might be shown, it's like takes a little bit of the fun out of it, because it's like, okay, like once most of the announcements hit, like realistically, I know what most of them are at that point, whether it be stuff I've seen or people have told me. So the video this year is definitely very, very grounded, very realistic, and that's a lot of stuff that we're expecting for sure.
I have a question for you, Miles. Do you think we're going to see more of the games that were already announced from last year or this year? So like games like Hellblade, or even something like Avowed. These games that are further out, do you think we'll see like a gameplay demo of some of these titles, or like more surprise announcements?
I think the focus of E3 for Xbox this year is going to be, these are the games that are coming sooner. The stuff that's way further out, if it's a couple of years out, I'm not expecting to see much or anything. Hellblade 2, for example, it's kind of up in the air. It's not coming out next year. Maybe 2023 is what I would kind of expect for Hellblade. Yeah. So that being said, Xbox, especially after after the infamous Craig moment, they're probably a little scared to show gameplay if they're not super confident in what it's going to be. So if it's within that, maybe it'll release in 12 to 18 months, I think we'll see something in a big way there. If it's 2 years out, like let's say Fable, I don't think we're going to see anything for Fable. I don't think we'll necessarily see anything for Hellblade 2 either. Why no? I'm Hellblade and Elden Ring right now are my two.
Fable. I'm a huge Fable fan, and I've been dying to see what they do with this new one.
We did have a super chat that I think we could probably just go around and each spit off on. Neo Gamer Spark put out. He said, "I got a question. What's one E3 announcement y'all want to see that's realistic, and one that's a dream come true?" So do we just want to go around the table and kind of put those out?
Yeah. We can start at the guess.
Miles,
Miles,
Mr.
Yeah, let's start with you, Miles.
Okay, so one realistic one that I want to see, and one E3 of dreams get hyped moment. Okay, a realistic one that I don't know about necessarily, and I don't even really care about this franchise, to be honest, but for the fans, I really want to see Banjo come back in some way. Like, I feel like Xbox has to do something with Banjo.
Facts.
They need that mascot.
Just for the fans, please. Like, I don't even really, Banjo's fine. It's whatever to me, but please, like, there was so much hype when Banjo was announced for Smash, and people were so excited. I just want them to be happy. That's why I want Banjo, and I could see Banjo happening in some way, shape, or form.
Man.
You know,
hope
it's
so.
it's the meme at this point every year. Banjo at E3, let's go. They're doing it. Xbox is finally doing it.
I've been saying that all the time on this podcast. I was like, yo, the mascots in the 3D platformers are back. You know what I mean? So it's like PlayStation has Ratchet, of course, Mario. Crash came back in a big way. It's time that Microsoft finally brings back Banjo. I think Banjo will do well.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, I don't even Banjo's whatever to me, but please, Xbox, make it happen. And then for me, what Xbox needs to do for me is give me that Dead Rising reboot. Let's go.
Yes!
We got Xbox Game Studios,
Like-
stacked
like-
lineup,
They need to
Fat-
do that.
I
fat
agree.
pockets of money. Whew.
Like reimagining Dead Rising or completely like overhauling the first.
Imagine Dead Rising running on an RE engine.
Oh man.
Yeah, that'd be lit.
Or
Yeah, that'd be
UE5
lit.
or UE5. That on
No,
UE5.
but
That's
it's Capcom.
different.
It's Capcom, so they're gonna use that
Oh,
RE
yeah.
engine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see like a big scale, like take kind of what they did with State of Decay 2, where they expanded the scope of it. They added 4-player co-op. That's what I would want from a new Dead Rising. Bring it
Yep.
back in a big way, make it huge, add co-op, and let's go. Let's do it.
I'm gonna come back to you in regards to that Dead Rising thing, but a realistic one is, I say at E3, I say Xbox partners with Ubisoft for a Splinter Cell reboot exclusive for Xbox. That would
Yeah, that'd be lit.
It's like it's unrealistic and realistic at the same time because it doesn't seem like it's impossible. So that's why I say it's realistic. It may not happen, but I would like to see that. And then
That would be dope.
an unrealistic man.
Everwild gameplay.
Everwild game. I would want
Not
some
seen that
perfect
for
dark gameplay. I would say for everybody wants Banjo and stuff like that. But truth is, Microsoft will probably do another Battletoads. I want cameo elements of power back. I want another cameo.
Yeah.
If they came and showed me, I mean, like they've been doing it up with like
Kenna.
Women. You got Kenna. You got all these like prominent women in video games. I know they got Senua and stuff like that, but cameo was like before her time, and there's so much you can do with a game like that in this generation. Cameo all the way.
All right. So, am I going next?
Yeah, go ahead.
Realistic, which I still think is kind of a far fetch. I think they're gonna stealth launch Psychonauts 2 on E3, like right after their presentation.
That'd be
I
fire.
think that would be like hype. That'd be fire. Because I'm excited to play Psychonauts 2. So that by the way, Psychonauts 2 is available on Game Pass, because I feel like that game's got to be ready to it's got to be ready.
Oh, for sure.
And if they just stealth put it out on Game Pass and said, hey, you can play it right after this presentation, boom, I think that would be big. I don't know if that's a realistic or a fantasy thing, but I'm putting it on my realistic category because my fantasy's a huge far stretch that I know for sure won't happen. So on my fantasy side of it, I would like Xbox, this is going to be like a big partnership, to partner with Konami, to partner with Kojima, like that's what I want that Kojima game, to bring back Silent Hill and make it exclusive.
I'm sorry.
That is my fantasy.
Oh my
I
heart,
want it
bro.
to happen. I want that PT. I want that Kojima.
Yo, that'd
much
be
potential
so
with that
lit.
game for it to just get thrown to the side, like bring back that whole crew.
Please.
Fix, heal the wounds, get it rid of it, and I think if Xbox could somehow do that, like that would be
But
that is like I said, it's fantasy. I don't realistically see it happening at all. It does. I'm probably going to die, so this next week might be the last week you see me. So yeah, that's my realistic side and my fantasy side.
Grip.
No.
Let's go Jay.
Yeah, Jay or
Jay.
me or
What's
or
up?
Whoever. What's your realistic and
Oh.
fantasy E3?
What's one E3 announcement you want to see that's realistic and one that's a dream come true?
My biggest thing that I'm hyped for is just seeing more Halo Infinite. So
Okay.
So
That's my
realistic.
biggest thing. Like, yeah, we know it's gonna be there. So
Yeah.
even though some people were like, "Oh, the showcase of Halo Infinite isn't going to be too detailed," I'm like, "What do you mean?
Yeah.
They delayed the game an
gotta be.
entire year. Why would they not show off the game?"
Gotta be.
So yeah,
I'm just waiting for everybody on the other side to sit there with a fine-tooth comb and be like, "Look at these trees."
I don't
And
care.
Yeah, oh
I
yeah.
don't care.
zoom
It's
in
Halo.
20 times into the photo and be like, "Look at these trees."
It's Halo. I'm
just
that
ready
one
for
dude.
it.
I'm that one dude in the videos like bow 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 bow. That's me. Like I'm a Halo fan. I love it. The Mighty Keith
I'm
video.
for
Like
Halo. Halo's got to be big this year for sure.
Is there another announcement that you would like to see happen that's probably not going to happen? Like would shock you if it did.
some sort of like, I don't know, something from id Software, like some sort of like Doom Xbox exclusive content.
No, that'd be
Even though they have like they pretty much wrapped up Doom with Doom Eternal and the Ancient Gods Part 2. Good DLC, but I don't know if something random like came out for even like a quick exclusive for like PC and Xbox. If they announced something like that, I'd be like, oh shit, like let's go. This is gonna be pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully they do something like that where like I would like to see a partnership with id Software and 343 in the near future, because those two studios collaborating is something I really want for like some really like crazy FPS.
Doom Guy and Master Chief pairing up together.
Yeah, man.
that'd be
Master
interesting.
Chief in hell.
That'd be
It would be
really
fire.
tight.
You know, people would be playing the hell out of it. It'd be fire.
Fuck yeah, dude.
What about
All
you,
right, I
Grips?
guess. Yeah, should I go?
Yep, go ahead.
Most realistic, I guess. Oh man, like I don't know. Like I just want to see more games. Like I know that isn't like specific as hell, but it's just like I just want to see more games that I'm gonna get to play. Should eventually. Like he said, like the PT thing and them working with Kojima, even if it's not PT, like whatever the title ever becomes, like I hope it's something horror based, to be honest, because I like what he was doing with PT and all of that. So I would like to see what he could do, even if it's not Silent Hill. What could you do? And the unrealistic would just be kind of like damn, like what could they do, man? It's just like you could say acquisition something or something like that, but that's not a damn game. So it's just like I would just like for them to make a game that just kind of like competes on a level, I guess. So like folks can shut the hell up.
I think he said announcement, not necessarily game.
Yeah, just announcement.
Oh,
Yeah,
like
he
an
said-
announcement?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could say acquisition if you wanted to.
Oh yeah, shit. I would like for them to get Sega. Should announce that. Like I know that seems like very far fetched, but it's just like the relationship is there and it's very very heavy rooted in history. But I know that and to announce shit Persona coming to Game Pass, like that would be retarded for me. Like I'd be like, ooh,
Okay.
like
I think that's coming. To be
I
honest,
feel like that's more realistic than I think
Yeah.
fantasy. But
yeah, that's
no,
they-
but it's just like
realistic
you know how folks talk
Yeah.
about the relationship and everything.
Yeah,
so it's
no.
just like they're like, yeah, they never do it, or this would never come, and everybody knows how like how Atlas operates. Or they notice how they operate. So it's just like it's very
Chris, you got any thing you?
Xbox predictions.
Yeah, does that has to be Xbox?
I mean, PlayStation ain't at E3.
I mean,
No, I know, but Square
what's
Enix
the
is there.
question?
Oh yeah,
Square
no,
Enix
it doesn't
is
have to be
there,
Xbox. It can be Square Enix. Go ahead.
Nintendo, Capcom, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
it don't have to be Xbox.
one game that I really want to see that's realistic or announcement is definitely the rumored game that Team Ninja is doing. That they're supposedly making a Final Fantasy game that's in the style of like Neo 1 and 2 or the Souls games. So it's heavily rumored. So that's something is rumored by extremely credible sources that have gotten everything accurate in the past. But that's a realistic expectation that I definitely want to see. An unrealistic one. Fantasy of mine. I would say this, right? It's actually going to be an Xbox one. I will say this. We do know that a Knights of the Old Republic remake is coming. I think Jason Schreier made it and stuff like that. And I said this on Twitter the other day as far as what can Xbox do to like kind of get me back into their ecosystem and like before. It's definitely the RPGs, right? That's the genre that I love the most. I love JRPGs more, but I do love a lot of Western RPGs growing up with them. So, and I remember playing Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2, and I absolutely loved those games, and they were Xbox exclusive. So if Microsoft can get Knights of the Old Republic as an exclusive, again, back on the Xbox, I would definitely purchase an Xbox Day 1 for that game.
Okay.
In my opinion. So.
Yeah.
I think that what we got. Did you go smooth?
No, we all went. There's another super chat from
sure.
Persian Knight. He says, how big of a graphics leap do you expect Forza Horizon 5 to have on the Series X? I personally don't know, because Forza Horizon, like, it always looks good. So I'm always like, well, how much can they make this much? How much better can it look? So I assume Forza Horizon 4 on a different level, different location. Add, I don't know, potentially can you ray tracing? Can you maintain 60 frames per second?
That'd be tight.
Like I don't know. I have to see it. But for a game that hasn't been confirmed, it is like almost like a guarantee for everyone. And at this point, it's like, how can we guarantee everything? Because it's 2021. We're owed 2 Forza games. It's like it's been on vacation. There's no standard Forza game. The Turn 10, their last game was 2017 for Motorsport, and so that means that game technically came out before the Xbox One X, so they didn't have even like a proper Xbox One X enhanced game. I know Forza 7 was 4K and 60 on a One X, but there was no follow up to that. And then you had Forza Horizon 4 the year after, and they kind of both have just been coasting. That's why I'm surprised that Forza Motorsport is further along than Forza Horizon. I don't know. Your thoughts, Miles?
Yeah, I mean, from what I'm hearing about Forza Horizon 5, it's going to be like a graphical showcase of the Xbox Series X and S. What that mean? I mean, every time a car game comes out for a new console, it's always the graphical showcase.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Forza's always big. Gran Turismo is always big with PlayStation, because you can make car games look really, really good. So, yeah, to your point, Forza Horizon 4, if you boot that up on the Series X now, it looks incredible. It looks phenomenal. So, how big of a jump? I don't know. I don't really know what to expect. I'm hoping like subtle things like draw distance is improved, because I think overall graphical fidelity is going to be probably, I mean, if you had a microscope, you could probably pinpoint some differences, probably some differences in lighting. But yeah, Forza Horizon 4 looks so good. So Forza Horizon 5, I probably will also look really, really good. I don't know.
Yeah, you have any thoughts on this, Jay? I think did we lose you to a freeze?
Jay? Are you there? Jay? Jay?
Yeah.
Hey,
I
Jay.
don't know.
He looking confused. Like,
I think he's back now. You don't hear us? Jay?
Jay? Jay, we lose it? No, we should have straight up lost this man. He can't hear us at all. He's sitting there he's trying to be like,
I don't think he can hear us.
Don't let them know I can't hear him. Don't let them. He's so focused.
What was the question?
I just want to know if he had any thoughts on how much better Forza Horizon 5 would potentially look on it, like than 4, like with the next gen lead.
Oh, it's gonna look a lot better, I would expect.
Yeah.
You know.
Do we think we'll get a Horizon 5?
I say that's pretty realistic.
Okay.
That's pretty realistic.
I was just wondering, because I know Playground Games is working on a Fable, so I didn't know.
They got 2 full.
How that was
full
being
studios,
split.
though. They have.
Oh, it is.
You guys can hear me?
Yeah, now.
Yes.
now we
There we go.
My freaking
That was,
Wi-Fi
that was-
just DC'd and just reconnected. So yeah,
That was.
all
right, bye. Bye.
we lost.
He's like, my Wi-Fi just did, and he is out.
Yeah, let's me switch over right quick. Give me 1 second. Anyway, hopefully it'll fix itself. It'll fix itself because. All right, so So Forza Horizon 5, I mean, hopefully it's real, but it seems from almost everyone is pretty much guaranteed.
Okay.
Don Otaku for $2. Now I actually agree with this. He said stealth drop Microsoft Flight Simulator, not Psychonauts 2. And I agree with that for the simple fact that Microsoft Flight Simulator is already out on PC. It doesn't really need that anticipation. And it's an easier drop to do versus like Psychonauts, where it looks like they're literally just getting the marketing behind Psychonauts. They just had the Game Informer. It's probably going to go through a bunch of outlets to get like those preview hands-on. And I think personally, Psychonauts 2 should get a proper deep dive. Even if it's not going to get that proper one at E3, it should get a proper 10-minute segment. Because I feel like they've been teasing us. And it should have profound Xbox Series enhancements over the other options that are available. I know it's also coming to PS4 and Xbox One and PC. But I feel like they should show this, like, yeah, this is the way to play it, like whether it be 120 frames per second, whether it be ray tracing enabled on the game. But I think Psychonauts is like due for like late July, early August.
So I guess I'm gonna throw this out there. What if they stealth dropped it only for Xbox, and then said it'd be out later for other platforms?
I personally want Psychonauts 2 to get some love, because Psychonauts 1, such a cult game. Like when it came out, it didn't sell well. Like not a lot of people played it, but it's this beloved franchise. And we live in a world where we're getting a Psychonauts 2, which is, 10 years ago, probably never would have assumed that would have happened. So a shadow drop would be hype and it would be exciting. I want Psychonauts 2 to get a little more love than that. I want Psychonauts 2 to be a little bigger of a deal for Xbox. Not to say that, if it's a shadow drop, it's not an important game, but I want Psychonauts 2 to have some fanfare. I want people to play it and then recognize what they missed with the first one, because, yeah, if people love and play Psychonauts 2, we'll get a Psychonauts 3. And hopefully it won't take 15 years to get a Psychonauts 3.
So do you think there's any possibility that they could put out the Xbox version before PlayStation?
I don't know.
Like say, hey, you can play it on, because right now, I mean, not that it matters too much because I talk, bad about it, but Necromunda has a digital release that's 30 days earlier than its physical. So like something like that where they're like, you can play Psychonauts right now, and then 30 days later you can play it on PlayStation, whatever, just to get that like surge of Game Pass subscribers in that want to play it and don't want to wait, whether they play it on PC or on the cloud or whatever. Just like even like a 30-day window, boom, pop it out there.
I think it's only complicated by the fact that this game was partially kickstarted. So there are people who back the game for a PlayStation version. So I think they're trying to be nice and fair because of that reason. So I don't think they're going to do any sort of like exclusivity period on Xbox. As much as the Xbox fans want it, I think they're trying to be very nice and fair because a big chunk of the game was kickstarted.
Yeah, and to add to that, it's like I don't think they really need to launch it first on Xbox to get the Game Pass. It's going to be in Game Pass regardless, so that should be enough an incentive. If you're playing on Xbox, well, I either going to buy it for $40-$50 on PlayStation or I'm going to play it in Game Pass. I think they automatically going to have marketing for it. It's going to be in Game Pass, and I feel like if they really wanted to make a deal about this game, allowing it to be multi-plat, but also making sure you stick by your promise it plays best on Xbox. So pretty much making sure it's the prettiest on the series consoles. Another super chat from Neil GameSpark. He says, a whole panel of Xbox gamers and none of y'all said Voodoo Vince or Viva Pinata. I'm about to
absolutely not.
Voodoo Vince, let's go.
He said, I'm about
absolutely
to
not. Like I know that's Bill's thing, but it ain't for me.
I also forgot
Doodoo Vince.
He says, I'm about to nuke this whole planet for real. I am the new best spot. Yeah, Voodoo Vince, I tried playing and it put me to sleep a couple of times. Viva Pinata, I do not have the mental fortitude to manage in any game. Whether it's pinatas or animals, nothing. I just can't.
Pinatas.
It's a cute game. I downloaded it just in case my kids want to play it. But thank God for backwards compatibility. But yeah, it's always going to be installed. I just personally won't play it. Gaming Addict. He says, Miles, one of my favorite podcasters these days. Shout out to Gaming Addict and ILP. The next thing another question. The Ravenflow. He says, what genre that isn't prominent on Xbox should they add to their portfolio? Miles.
They, as Phil Spencer has publicly said, they need the family-friendly genre. They have an amazing portfolio of shooters, for sure. They have an amazing portfolio of racing games. They're building up Xbox Game Pass to have an amazing portfolio of sports games as well. Horror games, surprisingly, Xbox has kind of been this hub and bastion of horror, which for me as a huge horror nerd, that is awesome. Yeah. But they don't really have that Nintendo factor. Like if you go on Netflix, like whether people agree with this or not, Xbox is looking at the model of Netflix with Xbox Game Pass and keeping people subscribed, keeping people engaged. If you look at the top 10, there's always like 4 or 5 like hyper obscure kids cartoons that I've never heard of in my entire life. Cocomelon dominates the Netflix top 10. And Xbox needs to fill that family-friendly gap. It may not be the most exciting for us or me personally, but again, tying it back to Banjo, you want to fill that family-friendly gap? Give us some Banjo.
I was just about to say that Banjo definitely excites me, and that's a family-friendly game.
Viva Pinata would be amazing in this day and age. I can picture a reboot of Viva Pinata, but
like I would say, another Lucky's would be cool.
Oh,
I like that. Y'all didn't like that?
I like one that has like an actual budget. Like that game was okay, but you could tell it was like had no money behind that. So.
Shout out to Shadow of Nexus. He says, why are people not talking about State of Decay 3? The first 2 are in my top 3 favorite games of all time.
Oh no, like I need them to focus a little bit. My guy.
Does anybody here play State of Decay heavy? Like
I tried. I dug into the second one. The second one was cool.
What do you expect for State of Decay 3 as far as improvements from the second one, Miles?
Just a more focused narrative.
Yeah, because State of Decay 1 I really liked, but it was very janky. Like State of Decay 1 was infamous for being really buggy, really janky. State of Decay 2, kind of the same thing when it launched, but the jump from State of Decay 1 to State of Decay 2 was massive. I remember being blown away because I loved State of Decay 1, but I knew it was a janky, ugly game. And when I played State of Decay 2 for the first time, I couldn't believe that this same team made this game. Like the jump there. And then I'm reading about how the team's doing photogrammetry and they are using motion capture for like characters in this. So I'm imagining like that State of Decay 1 to 2 jump and then this State of Decay 2 to State of Decay 3 jump, which seems like it's going to be bigger. This is going to be the first like AAA State of Decay game, which is going to be really cool.
All right, because I didn't hear none of that. So that's news to me that they're doing photogrammetry and like the motion capture for characters and stuff. That makes it sound more appealing to me.
They're doing it up real, it sounds like. So I'm excited to see that jump again. Okay. And kind of get that same feeling.
So question for you, Miles. Should State of Decay 3, because the trailer doesn't really give you much. What would you hope for State of Decay 3? More of a MMO experience or a single player solely focused single narrative experience?
I personally, again, I'll just so everyone knows where I'm at. I always prefer co-op. I always prefer multiplayer.
Okay.
So I appreciate a good single player game like Resident Evil Village, phenomenal, incredible. But I want multiplayer. Whether it be co-op, if you're going to give me a story and there's 4-player co-op. But State of Decay has always been about the sim elements as well. So like managing all these resources. But I would love to see that on a bigger scale. Maybe you and your friends all have your own like camp, Walking Dead style. You're all like in this big network and you have to trade resources between camps and like expand it to that scale for multiplayer. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see it go to a single player narrative driven like linear experience because that's not what the series has been. I want it bigger in every way, and and that includes multiplayer too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hey, real quick, going back to that super chat that talks about what like the genres that Xbox needs. To me, well, I'm not gonna say anything like JRPG because we already know that's probably other companies have that on lock. But to me, I think a genre that they need to bring back, or specifically a game that they need back for this genre, is definitely a Killer Instinct back for the fighting game scene. Because that was one of the reasons why I bought an Xbox One. Even though it was literally like a $20 title, right? It was free to play with one character, but it was like $20 to get like all the characters or whatever initially at launch. But I think that fighting game is absolutely amazing. I think that the team who rebooted it did a phenomenal job. And if I understand Microsoft is having a hard time trying to find a developer as far as a fighting game to get Killer Instinct back on, but I think that Xbox needs to bring that back because right now it's looking like PlayStation is eating up all the fighting games exclusives. So Xbox needs to get back with that game again, in my personal opinion.
Absolutely. Emmanuel A1 for $5 says, "What up, Planet Xbox? Where's the Xbox Dolphin game at?" And he's referring to the Xbox One X dev kit. And that lying Jim Ryan has struck again. I always knew God of War DLC was cross-gen. It's spicy.
Oh,
Spicy.
Jesus.
Shout out to Emmanuel. Always supportive.
All right, now we got to we have to get into what really what people are here for, those hot takes. It's that time of year, and everybody gets on the Xbox guys for the wait for E3 mantra. Miles, I've been hearing like people kind of, I don't know, just like this moody, and I heard it not last year, but a year before that, it was like, oh, temper your expectations. I don't know if you heard that. But my question to you, what would you say to an anticipated Xbox fan for E3? Should their expectations be high? Should they be like low, or should they be tempered? And if so, why? Why? What do you know that would be like, okay, I would temper my expectation? If you could say.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it really depends on you as a person individually. Because I'm one of those people who can get sucked into the rabbit hole, look at all the wild possibilities, think about like, oh, Silent Hill getting announced by Konami, Castlevania's coming back, and all these ridiculous things that could maybe hypothetically happen. But at the same time, you gotta kind of keep yourself grounded in some sort of reality, or at least be able to accept the reality where those things don't exist or don't get revealed. And that's kind of where I'm at. I like getting amped up. I like getting hyped. I like that energy. But at the same time, like, I kind of know what to expect. So I would say if you're an Xbox fan this year, there are some big omissions that will not be there. Again, I'll use Fable as the example. If the most hype thing for you is seeing Fable gameplay at E3, and that's going to make or break your E3, then sorry about that one. But
I didn't even expect that. But that's so like it's. I'm sorry, but it's just like it's really weird that people expect to see gameplay for Avowed or like you said, Fable, and it's just like these things were just kind of like announced. Like I feel like it would be extremely rough. Like it would be like rougher than Halo gameplay, and it's just like I never expected that. Now, like for the things that they did showcase that one time, like I'm expecting to see certain maybe not like a deep dive, but gameplay for those games like the Gunk or something, or like Stalker to get like a deeper look into that, like or the really nasty game. I forgot what it was called, but I want to play it. Yeah, Scorn. Like stuff like that. I expect to see like gameplay or dives or like just more detailed oriented footage. But like Avowed and like the secret stuff that maybe the Obsidian's doing and everything, I never expected that. Like
I would like most of their stuff to be like focused on stuff that's actually coming out this year. And then, like, just a touch of like the stuff that's like the future. Like do like a quick like 2-minute, quick cut of like the stuff that's gonna be coming out in the future.
Yeah, sizzle
like
reel.
That 90-minute presentation, if it's not like stuff that's coming out with a year, I think is going to be a big disappointment to show.
Yeah.
And especially like I want them to put out like release dates. Like we don't have a release date for
for
Scorn.
anything.
We
Yeah.
don't have a release date
anything.
for Crossfire X. We don't have a release date for Halo and the Gunk. And so like all those games that they did show last year should, either be getting close to coming out, within like the next year or right around the corner. And then they can sprinkle in like the stuff that's like for the future of X. It's gonna become the Fable, the Avowed. They can
Everwild,
Hey, don't forget about these games. They're still in development, but they're coming out this year, and go from there. Like they just got to show something to be coming out because that's what the narrative is. Xbox doesn't have first.
Xbox has no games.
It has no
exactly.
games.
Or they don't show
and
gameplay.
They just need to focus on what's coming out and what are you going to be playing your Series X. That's why I say it'd be nice if they did stealth launch something because then that would squash that narrative. Like, hey, boom, we got this game right now we can play.
Like self-launch
and like
Scorn. Shit.
Yeah, like dude, like, I don't even care if they did Scorn. I'd be happy with that. I think
hell yeah,
great. And then with Bethesda, Bethesda, how they kind of announce games with like Fallout 4, Fallout 76, then like some of their other stuff is usually like within a 5-month window from out. They usually got that one big game that's going to be out. So something from Bethesda that's going to come out this year too, and hopefully it's going to be, Xbox and PC only, exclusive for that too. So that's where I'm at.
One of the things that disappointed me about last year's game showcase, it wasn't that the showcase was bad at all. I enjoyed every game, but the thing is, my expectations for the showcase last year was it's July 2020. The consoles are coming out in November. I was expecting Xbox to paint me a picture of launch and like the months following, and all I got was maybe 3-4 years in the future, and I was like, I still don't know what launch looks like. So that's what disappointed me. It's like Fable, great. State of Decay 3, great. Avowed, great. All these games, great. And what's coming out with the Xbox other than Halo, which then got delayed shortly after?
Which then got delayed.
That's what hurt that's really what bothered me mostly. It wasn't the show. The show was great, but it didn't. I didn't get what I wanted. So that's why this year is like, okay, what's going on this year? So,
yeah, that's what they got to focus. If it's not stuff that's coming out this year is the main focus of that 90-minute presentation, I think a lot of people across whether you're looking forward to Fable or if you're looking forward to smaller games, is if they don't show that stuff that's coming out this year, it's just gonna be a downhill from there.
Yeah,
Good.
I was gonna say it's one of those things where the first party lineup for this year from Xbox probably is gonna get memed because I think it's just gonna be that holy trinity. We had Gears Hive Busters, we're gonna get Forza, and we're getting Halo. Let's go, baby!
So
Gears,
what would be
Forza,
Halo. What would complete the trinity then?
Is Halo
we got Hive Busters earlier, so that was like the start of 2021. We got Hive Busters for Gears. Then we're gonna get Halo.
I thought Hive Busters was December.
Was okay. It might have been tail end. All right. Well, essentially,
I was like, you're about to say Hive Busters is like the
the life cycle. The first year of the
3-hour DLC.
And of the first year of the Series X, technically it would be Halo, Gears, and Forza, December, and then
the first year. But yeah, I'm expecting a lot of big kind of partnership news, whether it's, third-party partnerships, whether it's indie partnerships, whether it's Xbox Game Pass partnerships, because I think they know for the remainder of this year that they're not going to have a stacked first-party lineup. Halo is going to be the biggest game that they are pushing hard this year because that is going to be their biggest game this year. So if you're not the biggest Halo fan, that might be a bummer. But I'm still expecting a lot of big new announcements from Xbox as well. I wouldn't expect those announcements to be revealed and then come out in the fall, but they're going to balance a blend of what's coming soon, and then, like they did with the last showcase, these are new games. These are new games you haven't seen before that are coming to Xbox exclusively. So there's going to be a good balance of that, I think.
So
Halo's all we need. Okay,
if
this is the beginning of a new age, the dawn of a new era.
It really is in a way. In a way, like I agree with what Jay's saying. It's just like this is just like the first official year for these consoles. like, and will, like, I mean, some will outperform by dropping certain bangers or like multiple bangers and everything. But I mean, like, Halo's really massive to the community, to gaming. So I think it can hold its own for a while until certain things are ready. And with the support of the third party deals, devs coming through to work with Xbox, like we know, like I think like Stalker and Scorn will go other places eventually, but it's just that them partnering with Xbox right now just to come out the gate. I mean, it's a big deal, and to be in Game Pass is just like another big deal. So I'm sorry, those are my hype games for if I get anything to Stalker 2 or Scorn or like some other horror game that they stealth kind of like sneak in there, like I'll be very satisfied. So
is with Xbox coming like pretty much this year with them knowing that their first party isn't stacked. Do you think are they prepared? That's what I really want to know. Is are they prepared knowing that? Have they set up themselves up for a proper plan B or a buffer to get them to that point? So like I guess on a level, like a hype level to 10 max, what should the Game Pass expectations for like pretty much the remainder of this year be? Pretty much, because that's what they're riding on, right?
Yes.
So, what is the hype level for Game Pass for the remainder of this year? What would you put that number at? I'm sorry, Chris, and I'll let you ride.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, Game Pass is gonna be the push. As we've seen, Xbox this year has been amazing at getting headline after headline, week after week. They know how to kind of control the narrative of Xbox Game Pass right now. So you can bet there's going to be some big, humongous Game Pass partnerships that are announced. So again, it might not necessarily be the first party bangers some Xbox fans want for 2021, but if you love Xbox Game Pass, be hyped, get excited. Game Pass, I'll say 9. If we're just talking about Game Pass as a platform, again, not Xbox first party, it seems like Game Pass is going to be stacked for the rest of the year. So,
okay.
Battlefield 6.
No, what I was gonna say, because I didn't get my thoughts on the E3, but
my bad.
That's cool. As far as, because that's one thing I was gonna say. Like, to me, it's like I have no expectations until they blow my expectations. You know, if that makes sense. Like, if they show me something cool, but as of now, it's like I have no expectations, so I can't really get disappointed. But I could definitely see something. I definitely do expect a major Game Pass announcement from a third party, and like what I think Old Man was saying, I think Battlefield 6 could be could be something, you know, something major, or something like or something like I don't know, like one of the major third party that's slated for the rest of maybe the next Assassin's Creed.
Listen, man, Battlefield 6?
There's another or Far Cry or whatever, but I could definitely see Xbox come out and say, hey, by the way, we're gonna show, you know, we're just gonna say Battlefield 6, even though, you know, it's probably won't gonna happen. But let's just say Battlefield 6. Hey, we're gonna show more gameplay of Battlefield 6, and guess what? It's gonna come day one on Game Pass. That's definitely something that will blow up like really quick.
Battlefield 6 looking
I just say
hype.
that because they got that partnership with EA already. And so I know they got June 9th. You know, right before E3, they're supposed to be, you know, debuting Battlefield 6. You know, off of the Battlefield channels and stuff like that. And then just imagine going June 9th, they just showing the gameplay and stuff, to transitioning to the E3 press conference. And then you got Battlefield 6 up there on the screen, and then boom, just Game Pass right there, day one from release when it comes out.
What if they show?
I think that's what's that?
No, I was gonna say, what if they show Horizon Forbidden West for Game Pass? That would be crazy too, man.
Right. I mean, but then the other thing I think would be kind of interesting. Xbox did partner with Nintendo somehow to bring Game Pass to the Switch. I don't know how beneficial that would be between both parties, but
I don't think Nintendo's going to do that. To be honest with you,
I'm just going that from like it seems like Xbox and Nintendo have kind of had, you know, a you know, good relationship, not necessarily a bad one. And you know, if Microsoft and Xbox are wanting to get Game Pass, you know, available on more platforms, they could just be like, hey, we'll cut you a huge check. You just let us put this app on there, and we're good to go. And who knows, maybe because I think that'd be really cool to just boot up the Game Pass app. You don't have to connect any peripherals to or whatever. Play games straight from there.
Could, but like I think as far as the Nintendo and Microsoft relationship goes, I think it's go as far as, hey, let us put Banjo and Smash, and Xbox said okay, or put Ori on the Switch. I think it goes as far as that. I don't think it's gonna be. I mean, it could surprise us, but I think Nintendo.
Yeah, I'm totally like saying like as a hey, this is gonna be something that is probably realistically it would just be something neat to see, especially because it would make the Switch even more, I guess, even more valuable as a platform as it already is.
All right, Miles, I got some rapid questions for you, right?
Oh, shoot. Let's go.
All right. And these are going to be like this or that. All right. First one. Ninja Theory's at E3. What game are they showing? Project Mara or Hellblade 2?
If they're showing anything, it would be Hellblade 2, but...
All right. No Project Mara?
I'm not expecting Project Mara.
Okay.
No, not. No.
I like E3. No, I think they would show Hellblade and then have Project Mara for more of like a smaller event.
Yeah, Project Mara is cool, but it's more of like a passion experiment more than like a big headline grabbing game. Like that team is really invested in pushing technology, and I think Project Mara is a way for them to experiment, like how to hyper realistically create spaces. Because it's basically they completely 3D scan an apartment, and that's the setting for this game. But I don't think that's super exciting for the average person, so I don't think they're gonna.
Okay.
Yeah, for some of us who's like really into like seeing how far they can put a big project. It's not a big project. We all know that. It's something on a smaller scale to really like push their technology and see what they're really capable of. So I can't wait to get my hands on that. Honestly, I was really hyped when I seen those dev diaries from Ninja Theory. And I think they have a lot of potential.
All right. So another rapid question: Halo Infinite. What will be shown? Another campaign demo or multiplayer?
All of it. The whole suite they're gonna do. I imagine. Again, I don't have a master list, so this isn't me like saying this is definitive. But I would be shocked if we didn't get a new campaign trailer, a breakdown of some of the multiplayer modes, and then.
Yeah,
I would hope these are two hopes. Again, I'm not sure that these will happen, but I hope we get a beta date, like a beta launch date, and I hope we get a reveal for a new mode. Like, show me some classics, but show me what the new hot Halo multiplayer mode is.
Halo Battle Royale?
God, no, please,
yeah.
No.
No, they definitely.
I do think Halo would actually it'd be a good setup for Battle Royale.
It's been confirmed they're not doing BR.
Yeah, but I mean, it's pretty. They already have large areas, right? I mean,
they could come out there and see that money. That'd be the Battle Royale.
Dollars, yeah.
I agree. I agree with everything Miles said. They need to show multiplayer and all that. And obviously, the game is going to look definitely presentation-wise, it's going to look better than last year, right? Like that's a given. The only thing that I hope that they show as far as like Halo, I just hope that is running on the Series X when they show it and not just on PC. So we can actually see it running on the Series X.
Better have that Xbox Series X gameplay at the bottom right there.
All right,
more PC footage.
Another one, Obsidian. Got a lot of games in works, right?
Ooh, yeah, they do. Yeah.
They surprise us at E3 because we're not really expecting much from them. But they do surprise us. Do they surprise us with, Avowed gameplay or an Outer Worlds 2 announcement?
So yeah, I'm expecting Obsidian to be there in a big way. I personally would be hyped to see a 1.0 for Grounded. I love what the team's doing with that. Small team, small game, but I love Grounded. And yes, I'm also expecting a possibility for the Outer Worlds 2 to get revealed. Outer Worlds 1 was amazing. Absolutely loved it. Outer Worlds 2 would be a really big deal for people who love that game. Yes. And then Avowed. I know everyone wants to see Avowed, and it's from what I'm hearing, it sounds like there's a chance. I don't think it's going to be a big deep dive into gameplay or anything like that, but there's a chance we get some kind of update, new information, maybe a new trailer of some kind for Avowed. But I wouldn't expect like your 10-minute slice of Avowed gameplay.
Yeah, I would hope for a trade because I'm looking forward to it because I really like the Outer Worlds. So if they do Outer Worlds 2, like that'd be really good because I felt like Obsidian with the Outer Worlds they gave me that void that Bethesda kind of left off was like Fallout. I didn't like Fallout 4. I didn't like 76 or anything like that. But I think Obsidian was that style of RPG that they did. I think they filled in that void. So I'm definitely looking forward to what they do with Avowed. And if there's an Outer Worlds 2, man, sign me up because I really enjoyed the first one.
Yeah, the
Like,
Outer Worlds 2 was like the best Fallout since Fallout 3.
Yeah, I agree. 100% agree. Absolutely.
So, Chris, would that bring you over to the Xbox side if it was Xbox exclusive?
Well, I've been saying that Xbox, they have the opportunity to get me with all of these RPGs. This is when they release, right? With Fable and stuff like that. So it's like, yeah, I mean, I definitely, yeah, because that at this time that would be like the main things I'll buy Xbox for. It will be like the RPGs that they get, the Western RPGs. I just hope that these studios get back on track, like. Bethesda kind of fell off, so I think so. Oh, matter of fact, this is an Xbox and Bethesda
Addict,
show.
you're messing up our layout, dude.
Hold on. This is an Xbox and Bethesda show, so I'm curious to see because it seems like Microsoft is still treating Bethesda as its own entity, which makes sense. But I'm curious to see because Bethesda's next 2 games that are coming out are PS5 exclusives, so I'm interested to see if they're going to show those games off at this showcase. Then what do they have to show? We know Starfield. Okay, Starfield, I 100% believe we're gonna finally get a reveal, but and maybe a teaser of Elder Scrolls 6. But it's like, other than that, it's like maybe another id Software game.
Yeah,
in the works.
I don't think it's gonna show off anything. It's gonna be on the show for a while.
So
the Indiana Jones game. Yeah, the Indiana Jones game can be there.
Jones, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
No, they said they were working on multiple things, so I mean, it kind of could, It could be like the next Wolfenstein potentially. If they're not showing anything for the Indiana, if it's too early to show. I would say something that would be really cool would be if Xbox got like just to step out of the Xbox and Bethesda showcase, if they got a deal with Atomic Heart to be shown, in the Game Pass, because I've been watching that game for years and it's still hasn't got any type of release date or anything. If they came with that, that'd be really satisfying. I know probably don't nobody know what the hell I'm talking about, but Atomic Heart is kind of like BioShock set in Russia. So I was kind of interested in that, the combat and the design of the characters, they almost look like Big Daddies in a way. So I was really interested. So.
All right, before I continue with the rapid questions, I'm gonna just grab these super chats right quick. Yadani Quezada says, "Good evening, guys. Question is for Miles. Is Elden Ring even real life? Is Elden Ring even real life? Yeah.
Is Elden Ring even real? It's just we've been in a fever dream since the reveal trailer in 2019, and reality stopped at E3 2019, and we've been living this fantasy. We're in the Matrix. But no, Elden Ring is real, and it sounds like." My hopes were a little kind of iffy and dashed last week, but today there's been some developments, y'all. There's been some developments, and we might be seeing Elden Ring soon.
I hope so.
8 days soon, to be specific. So
wow,
I'm ready to be heard again. Because right now Elden Ring and Hellblade 2 most hype games for me by a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the games I want to play the most. And then when I heard they're both probably not going to be at E3, I was like, oh, god damn it. But Elden Ring stands out there. There's a chance. There is hope. It seems like homie Jeff Keighley might be making some magic happen and swinging this big old dick around to get Elden Ring at the Game Awards showcase kickoff. So we'll see.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I so because I am out of everybody here on this panel, I'm the biggest Souls fans. I love those games. That's my favorite genre. I love From Software. They're one of my favorite.
That's cap.
They're one of my favorite. Come see me in PvP and Demon Souls. But I love From Software. They're one of my favorite developers. So I've been highly anticipated for Elden Ring, and I've been waiting because they announced it 2 years ago, and we ain't getting no update except for a leak. The leaks have been the only updates that we've been getting.
Yeah, that leak trailer.
So I hope, man, come on, they really definitely need to show us something by now. Some type of update. Even if it comes out next year, I don't care. Just some
Yeah.
type of update.
They have one of my favorite writers, George R. R. Martin, on the game as well. So that's going to be pretty
True.
good, cool from a narrative
That-
standpoint and the
Mhm.
fantasy aspect of it, because like he really gets into some pretty crazy stuff. Besides like Game of Thrones, like outside of that, like his fantasy novels are amazing.
And Don Ataku says for $5, people are asleep on. I'm assuming this is what's that?
Fantasy
it's
Star Online.
Fantasy Star Online 2.
The new Gen
Oh
series.
yeah.
It is. He said it's on. It comes out on June 9th. It's a new standalone Xbox PC exclusive MMORPG that more people should look into. Not an expansion.
That's launching
Yeah,
in the
big
Game
facts.
Pass. For people who do like those kind of games, like Final Fantasy 14, even the original Fantasy Star Online, like Fantasy Star
Yeah.
Online 2. I remember they showed that off at the Xbox Game Showcase, and it looked really good. Like it's a really nice step forward over the first game. So I'll be trying that out, playing that game.
Yeah, I'm
over
gonna
there.
definitely jump back in with that.
It's my
Like
style
I
of
know,
game. I like those games.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
definitely
so
a
I know
game that I
it's-
definitely want to come to the West on PlayStation. It's on the West in Japan. I mean, it's in Japan, but that's one of those
Yeah.
games I was like, yeah, I definitely want to play that game because it look like gameplay wise. It looks. I played the old Fantasy Star back like on the GameCube, I think, when they originally came out, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, Fantasy Star is the new one, the new expansion, right? Which is pretty much Fantasy Star Online 3, but they're not calling that because they don't want to separate the player base,
Mhm.
but. It looks way more improved gameplay wise and everything like that. It looks real fun.
yeah, I played a lot of the one that's on there now, or that became free to play or whatever. And this one, like I think because it's been over in their neck of the woods for a while, but I think since Xbox went over there, threw some cash around and everything, help support all of it and all of that, like they're getting kind of like dibs on everything. So I'm definitely going to jump back into that. I didn't know that it was coming out so soon. Like I thought it was like pushed back further, but I mean, that's really cool. I'm excited.
It's Shadow of Nexus says, will the last night be at Xbox E3? Was at 2017 E3. Yes, I tried to get that guy for an interview. He said that game, back in 2017, he was like, yeah, that game is not nowhere near close. I'm not ready to talk about it.
Wait, is that Blade Runner pixel art game?
Yeah, it's just kind of like pixelated.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, whatever happened to that game? That game looked pretty good.
It looked beautiful. Like I've been waiting on that game. It's kind of like the same thing. Like you got so many hidden gems where it's like Atomic Heart was talked about like 3-4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like that game is nowhere to be seen. Like I mean, they released kind of like a teaser trailer, like maybe like a few months ago, maybe like 2-3 months ago. But that game, like we still have no release date on it or anything. Like it's really crazy. The Last Night, Tunic, 12 minutes. Yeah, like those games that were shown, beautiful looking games. Excited for them. Still have nothing. So.
And so back to the rapid questions. I think you got like maybe 3 or 4 of them left. But the project, is it Typhoon? Is it,
Oh yeah, Project Typhoon.
Project Typhoon.
Yes.
Okay, that game is Payday 3 in disguise.
Payday 3 in disguise.
What?
Yes.
That's your take on Project Typhoon, huh?
Is it Payday 3? I mean I think it's a game that it's under our nose that it exists, but it's going to be exclusive to Xbox through some sort of partnership. And I'm like, I keep thinking of Payday 3. Maybe it's Payday 3. I know they had some up and downs. It was coming out and it's not coming out. Dying Light 2 is already out there and it's already confirmed as multi-plat, has a release date and whatnot. So it's not that. So I'm like, well, Payday 3.
Payday 3? No, it's not Payday 3.
What's this game even look at? This is the first time.
It has not been revealed yet. There's a possibility we'll get our first taste of what Project Typhoon is at E3. I hope we see it because I want to talk about it more than I can. But yeah.
What about that one indie game? It was you played the demo of it, Smooth, and it ran rough. It
Song
was
of
a
Iron?
first person shooter.
Oh no.
No.
Second
with the
extension?
grappling. No. It was the Chinese chick, but it was like in first
Oh,
person.
Bright Memory.
Bright Memory.
Oh,
When
yeah,
is
Memory.
Infinite
Yeah,
coming
Memory
out?
Infinite.
Yeah, when is that one coming out?
I don't know.
That's supposed to be exclusive, right? A timed exclusive?
I think
Yeah, we don't know when that's coming out.
There's a lot of the games that were shown in May, and a lot of the 30 games that were, on the Xbox Wire for 2021 release. Only one have released, and it was like the medium and a couple in second extension technically. But everything else is still sort of up in the air. We still waiting on Song of Iron, still waiting on the Gunk, still waiting on Stalker 2, Scorn. We're still waiting on. Well, the Accent finally has a release date. Can't wait for that. The Ascent. I think
The Ascent. Yeah, July.
Ascent, July 29th. Yeah. So I don't really know. Surprise Game Pass drop. Right? Game Pass E3 announcement. Do not pre-order Scarlet Nexus because it will be in Xbox Game Pass as of E3.
That's your prediction?
That's
your prediction?
Yes or no? The rapid.
Oh, I don't know for I don't know for sure, honestly, but I will say Scarlet Nexus is one of the ones that I'm personally expecting to be one of the third-party big kind of day one Game Pass launches. Again, don't know this for sure, so this isn't confirmed. I can't confirm or deny it. I haven't seen it. That is one of my expectations, though.
All right.
Okay.
Another one. Machine Games shows off new trailer for Indiana Jones or reveal Wolfenstein 3.
Maybe neither. Maybe I would say probably we see a trailer or a reveal for Wolfenstein 3 before we see something from Indiana Jones, because they gave us that teaser for Indiana Jones. So I'm not really expecting anything from Indiana Jones, but I'm also expecting that they would finish Indiana Jones before they'd work on Wolfenstein 3. So maybe neither, but more likely Wolfenstein 3 than Indiana Jones, I think.
Okay.
It's been like what, four years for Wolfenstein 2? It came out 2017.
Yeah, was it 2017 or 2018? I don't.
I think it was 20.
I thought it was a Xbox One X enhanced game.
What Wolfenstein 2 came out in 2017, October 2017.
Oh, okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay, it's.
I don't count Youngbloods, that expansion which came out, I think, like maybe.
Yeah, we had Don't forget about Youngbloods.
Oh,
yeah, but that depends.
Youngblood was forgettable. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That
it was
depends
alright.
if they're willing to bring like Wolfenstein back, because I heard like the last two games didn't, including the expansion, didn't really like sell all that hot as far as what they wanted it to. But I don't know. I could be wrong about that. I would suspect that they probably move all of their manpower towards Indiana Jones.
Don't they have like a second team as well?
I don't know.
Miles?
I don't know.
I thought they had like a second team working on the Indiana and something else they were working on, I thought.
It seems like Xbox is, and obviously Bethesda is a little bit different, but it seems like Xbox is gearing up all of its teams or developers to have multiple teams. So yeah, it's likely that there's two different teams, but I imagine their core team is on Indiana Jones.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Who opens the show? What opens the show? What closes the show?
What opens and what closes the show? Some people don't want to see this. I personally want them to open with Halo again. I want them to make this a big, fresh reveal, like basically completely correct the negative narrative that they had last year. Because they were oddly confident with Halo last year, because we saw an extended, not necessarily live demo, but an uncut gameplay demo of Halo. So they came out and they seemed confident. They seemed excited to show Halo off. And I'm sure they were quick to second guess that confidence when the internet got a hold of that. But yeah, I really want them to kick the show off with Halo. We know what Halo could be, but I want them to get everyone excited about Halo Infinite and use that. If we're starting with Halo and it's just going to ramp up from there, is kind of what I want. But what ends it? I'm hoping it's a surprise. I'm hoping it's something that I don't even know. That's what I want. That's how I want the show to end. It could end with Starfield if they are going to have a hard divide. If it's going to be like Xbox first and then Bethesda at the end, which that still seems unclear, but it could be like Halo in the beginning and Starfield at the end, which would be cool, which would be exciting because they are telling us loud and proud that those are the two biggest games they have right now, as we've seen on their E3 banner, which is Halo and Starfield, like front and center. So again, I personally want a surprise at the end, that one more thing moment, but it could be Starfield too.
Okay. Another one. You play to Game Pass this fall.
You play to Game Pass. I mean, it seems like that is coming. I don't know if that's an E3 thing or how they're going to kind of work that, but yeah, I'm anticipating Uplay coming to being bundled into Xbox Game Pass at some point. I mean, I guess that would be kind of a hype E3 thing to do. I don't know though. I don't know either way on that one.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Now, over the last 3 years, dating back to 2018, there actually has been some sort of acquisition. Does that happen at this year's E3? And if it does, if the acquisition happens, is it small scale or large scale?
Okay, I'll break this up into my boring, realistic take first, and then I'll give you what I would want from like a mega acquisition from Xbox. So realistically, no. This entire showcase is going to be welcoming Bethesda to the family, like making sure everyone knows that Bethesda is part of Xbox now. So that's the messaging of this show. So it would be weird if they had that and then, oh yeah, by the way, here's some other teams we're throwing in. So I think no acquisition news at all is what I'm expecting there, because they want this to be Bethesda is Xbox now. Here's what that looks like. So that's my boring take. My hype take is that Xbox announces that they're buying Capcom. That they go that hard, and that is their next big publisher get is Capcom.
Lose my mind.
Let's go. Because imagine the Capcom portfolio in Game Pass. Imagine all those IPs that are just dead and dormant that nobody can touch because they don't get the budget. But imagine all those teams and all those IPs under that banner. Ooh.
Chef's kiss, baby.
I wouldn't be allowed to hype it because of all the stuff that I talked about Resident Evil. I would be like exposed.
Well, you just do the same thing you did with Bethesda. You talk trash about Bethesda before, and after they were acquired, you hype them up. It'll be the same thing.
Man.
See, well, Bethesda though, it's like I only had an issue with one part of Bethesda. One part of Bethesda, but all right, Rare. We finally find out what the hell Everwild is, or we get Sea of Thieves tied in with Pirates of the Caribbean.
Listen, Everwild is not happening. Like that there's a high chance that project gets scrapped.
No, I doubt it's scrapped.
They don't even know
it's not getting scrapped. It's from what I'm hearing of Everwild, it's kind of like what they were doing with Sea of Thieves, where they're trying to make this entirely new game.
See, so that's what I didn't want to hear.
So they have a bunch of different mechanics that they're trying to figure out how to like make the loop. Like they're trying to figure out how to make the Everwild loop. So it's not one of those things where, it's never going to come out. It's just going to take them time. Like Sea of Thieves, I think, took 4 or 5 years, and they had to basically they built the game once, rebuilt the entire game in a different engine. So that's kind of what I'm hearing about Everwild, is that they have ideas and they're just trying to figure out how to take all these ideas and put it into an experience that is a game and actually fun. Because it seems like Everwild's very out there, trippy, ethereal.
Yeah,
so Miles,
it looks like that to me as well. The thing about Everwild is that it's very ambiguous in terms of what it's trying to do, and they can't figure out what the gameplay and what they want to make that game, like how they want to execute on what they're trying to do. Like they clearly have a vision and the concept of it. Right. We've seen it, but what is it gonna be about? That's my biggest thing. And when you listen to these interviews from some of these people that's at Rare, they don't even know what the game's about. That's my biggest issue with the game so far.
Yeah, and there was some detail. There was some detail. We talked about it like 2 weeks ago on here. There was some details about that. It could be like another one of those online, make your own fun games. You know, like
Yeah.
how Sea of Thieves.
That's
was.
what I was about to say.
And,
Okay.
and we were like, well, they already have that with Sea of Thieves. All they really need to do is just keep expanding on it. Sea of Thieves is successful now, so all they have to do is just keep expanding on it and bring back Banjo. That's all they have to do, man.
Like I didn't agree on the second part, but everything else he said, I definitely agreed on. That's what I was worried about when they showcased it again, and they were talking to the lady about the game, and like she said, I can't like exact words, but it was just like, yeah, we don't know. And so I was just like, yeah, that's not something you kind of say when you're trying to like showcase something. Like, so and in the game, it's just like I wanted to have like I don't want to make my own fun, Miles. Is that my problem? I don't want to make my own fun.
And
I want you to direct me to the fun, and then that is people's biggest complaints of Sea of Thieves, and I'm in the exact opposite camp. I love Sea of Thieves for those reasons, because it gives you this world and all these like tools to just mess around with, and it sounds like Everwild is trying to be that, but not like Sea of Thieves at all.
Man.
So I play Sea of Thieves, Miles. That's not my problem. But I gotta have people with me to play it. You get what I'm saying? So
So I hope Everwild's multiplayer as well, but yeah, I would love to know a specific breakdown of what Everwild's going to be. And maybe we'll get that someday, but I don't think we're getting it this year.
It's going to be a while until they show something about that game.
Because we've already gotten 2 CG teasers. I don't think they're going to give us gameplay, and I don't think they're going to give us a third teaser for Everwild.
Mm-hmm. There's definitely other things they can just focus on.
So what about Sea of Thieves? We see that.
I mean, I assume we'll get something for Sea of Thieves. I just don't know exactly what that'll look like at E3 this year.
Gotcha.
Okay.
If it was Pirates of the Caribbean, like, are you talking about like Disney? They have
how
to partner
did
with
they-
Disney to get that, right?
Yeah, partner with Disney and get that, like, that thing to do. Little, like, that'd be a nice tie-in. Don't they got a new movie coming out pretty soon? Like, aren't they working on one?
I think they got a reboot.
I think they're rebooting. Yeah, I
It's a
think they're doing a
reboot,
reboot. Yeah.
I don't even think it's in like production or
Oh.
even being filmed or anything like that yet.
All right, so I just want to make sure I got all the super chats. I think Don Ataku wanted to correct somebody. He says Youngblood was by Arcane, not Machine Games.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Which
Okay.
was
Okay.
correct. And just want to make sure I didn't. I think that's it. But yeah, we're approaching 10:30. Maz, I don't want to keep you too much longer, but yeah, did anybody have any questions, any thoughts on Xbox E3? Personally, you guys have any expectations or a realistic prediction that you want to give?
Quick thing, Youngblood was developed by both Machine Games and Arcane.
But that's just as much as saying.
So we're both right and we're both wrong.
Well, it could have been used as a support
they-
team.
Yeah, well, it says that the title was developed by Machine Games, which led the development, and then Arcane Studios as well.
Okay.
Arcane was probably support then.
So yeah, so Machine was the lead, Arcane was the support. Looks like.
Yep. I'm expecting a good E3. I'm not expecting like it to be great, but I'm thinking this year is definitely gonna be better than last year. Honestly.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Last year was decent. It wasn't bad, or as bad as people tend to make it out to be. Besides Halo Infinite, I was pretty disappointed with Halo Infinite, but I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited for this year. So I think it's gonna be a good E3. You guys better be ready. Like I said, Halo Infinite is the dawn of a new era of Xbox, okay? You guys don't know what you're in store for, okay? If you don't have an Xbox, you better get one now, because Halo Infinite's gonna change everything. This is just the beginning. All right, so
exactly first year, baby.
Yeah, let's go. 343.
Year
Halo?
1, baby.
Yeah.
Master Chief. Bow.
Shout out to Pointless Views. He had reminded me about one game, and he's keep putting it in the chat. Miles, Project Omen.
Project Omen
is by Arcane Austin. Like,
yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head which of the Arcanes is but apparently it's an immersive vampire RPG from Arcane. that also has the potential to be revealed at E3 as well, as a game that's been in the works for a little while. As we know, Dishonored 2's been wrapped for a few years. Yeah, so there's a potential we see what's next. What the next big arcane game is at E3, and it sounds like could have to do with some vampires.
So, question, because I know they got like I could see that now. Your guess: first person or third person?
My guess is it would be first person. That would be my guess.
Single player or multiplayer?
All single player would also be my guess.
All right, just wanted to throw that out there. All right, and this game, do you think that this, because Arcane has another game that they got to put out for? Oh, never mind, they're doing Deathloop as well. But do you think this game comes? Which game comes first, Ghostwire or Omen?
Ooh, Ghostwire, I would say comes first.
Okay.
No, absolutely. Ghostwire it should come first. This is the first one. Announced.
Omen would not be this year, and Ghostwire is still targeting this year, right? Or is that next
They
year?
haven't really said. I
Okay.
mean, they said it was gonna be a launch game or around
Launch
launch
window
but-
game, yeah.
Launch window game, but obviously
Not.
we're
It's
getting
gonna be
a
a
bunch
very,
of
very
delays.
long window nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, because of COVID, we're getting a bunch of delays and stuff like that now. So
What's up, Chris? We on that Ghostwire, bro?
I gotta see more of it. It looks cool, but I still gotta see more. I want to see more.
Yeah. Point. Okay. No, I'm just reading it. So yeah. I have not lowered my expectations. For Xbox E3, I have high expectations. I'm excited. I just don't know what to expect outside of Halo, Starfield, Forza. I'm hoping Xbox still has some energy or some surprises to excite us all. And I think either way we'll have a good show. And I just hope they're able to effectively close out the year. Because they got a lot of Forza and Halo has a whole lot to carry. if that's the case.
Those two games have to hit like really well for the community, you know.
And what's going on with Crossfire X?
Who knows?
So
That's
the story is still there. They just, from what I'm hearing, they're refining a lot of stuff with it.
Yeah.
The last thing we've seen was the multiplayer. I'm more excited for that campaign than the
This
multiplayer.
campaign by
Honestly.
Remedy is gonna be. I think that's gonna be great.
Yeah.
All I want Xbox to do at E3 is just focus on what's coming out this year and just put release dates on stuff. Let us know when we're gonna get these titles out. I think that's the biggest thing. Yeah, you know, so many games, but it's not gonna matter. That's just as long as they give me release dates for like, you know, some stuff that's coming out this year, I'll be happy just to know that I'm gonna get to.
Okay. Oh man, your mic I think goes in and
Yeah,
out.
I think I just realized that.
Yeah.
I don't know what part I missed, but hopefully you got the gist of it.
Yeah, we understood most of it.
Okay, sorry.
So Miles, E3, you have your expectations, your predictions. I would say, what do you think? After last year, the year before that, if you had to say, what do you think the turnout will be?
I'm honestly really excited for this year. Again, like I talked about in the beginning, if those big games we saw last year, like Fable and Avowed, are what you're most excited about, then it might be a bummer in some ways. But I think we're going to get a really good balance of stuff that's coming soon and then new announcements as well. And like I said, Xbox has been pretty tight-lipped recently, which is exciting, which makes me kind of interested to see what stuff they might have under wraps, because as much as, you know, some stuff has been in the leaker circles and making the rounds, I am expecting some, at least one, maybe two announcements that nobody saw coming. Because, you know, as much as stuff does leak consistently for a lot of people, I think Xbox understands what they need to do to impress people this year. And I think they're going to make sure that they do that while knowing that the first party lineup for 2021 isn't going to blow people's minds if you're not a fan of Halo and Forza, because those are going to be the two big slappers from first party for 2021. As much as people might be bummed by that.
Well, Kid Smooth's gonna love it. He made a whole song about those
Halo.
games.
Yeah. But I'm gonna be bigging up Psychonauts. I think Psychonauts is gonna shock on and I feel like if Xbox honed that IPN as another another Xbox title, even though just ignore that it's on PlayStation 4 due to contractual.
So you're hoping Psychonauts 2 will be some sort of gem like Ori was, right?
Yeah.
Well, it is a gem.
It's not going to
definitely.
be. Well, I'm talking about the sequel. I'm talking about the sequel. So
no,
like Ori was definitely one of those. Hey, this game is amazing and stuff like that. It wasn't a huge hit, but it was still one of those. Hey, this is definitely an amazing game to be in the catalog of Xbox and stuff like that. Game Pass. So.
Yeah, but
just I guess just like my expectations. I guess I really don't. Will have any that are kind of set in the traditional sense. I know they're working on things. I'm just more excited about the stuff that that hasn't leaked or that they haven't really shown as much. Like the smaller titles are the partnerships they have. Like the Stalker 2 stuff. Like if they could show some Stalker 2, I'd definitely be very, very satisfied. Or like they said, 12 minutes or something like that. I'd be very satisfied. I just want them to show,
No, I was just naming As Dust Falls and.
Yeah. Shit, I just want them to show more. Just more gameplay centric stuff. Just to showcase and highlight things. I know probably Halo's probably the biggest thing there coming from Microsoft and whatever Bethesda kind of sprinkles in on there. That's gonna be a really big deal, but I just want kind of the hidden stuff is what I'm more focused on.
Beam me up, Phil. Gotta keep us hype and continue to surprise us. But anybody else got any arguments before I said arguments. Any thoughts before we close this out?
I can start an argument if you want, but no, I'm joking.
I bet you could.
Yeah. Oh, nothing? Okay. Well, thank you all for tuning in and joining us for this episode, and thank you, Miles Dompier.
There we go.
There you go.
That was a good one.
Nailed it.
For joining us in this special episode of Planet Xbox. Appreciate everything you've done for Windows Central Gaming. You got some awesome videos. I try to check it out, and your Xbox Chatter Days, which is also it keeps me my Saturdays electrifying. So shout out to you for that. But I appreciate you coming through. I was surprised that to have you here, and would love to have you back. And if you have anything to say, floor is yours.
Yeah, no, I just appreciate the invite. It was fun chatting with you guys. Always down to just hang out and talk Xbox. It doesn't get old, surprisingly, as much as I do it. And I'm excited for all the people that come and listen to me talk about Xbox, which is also kind of weird. But really appreciate it. Ton of fun. And if you guys want to bug me on Twitter, send me Elden Ring memes, just at Miles Dompier over there. And that's the best place to get a hold of me.
Nice. So follow Miles Dompier on Twitter. It's just Miles, right? I think I have the
it's just at my first and last name on Twitter. Nothing too fancy.
I wish
Miles
I
with the cheeseburger in the middle.
I wish I can do that. Just put my name. No, I get memed and trolled.
You get some nice fan mail, I bet.
Yeah. I'm speaking of. So thank you guys for watching. As always, Xbox is the best box. I am the best bot. Good night or good morning if you're on the other side of the globe. I am out of here. Peace.
Take care.